been on a carnivore diet for a little over a year now, and it has changed my life in all the best ways. I love that everything I eat is so simple and delicious, and today I'm gonna show you an example of what I eat in a day and how I prepare it all. Today I started my day with some gentle stretching, basically like yoga, except way less skilled because I'm not a yoga instructor. I usually lift 5 days a week, and so I try to squeeze in 1 day a week of stretching just for injury prevention and because it feels so dang good. For breakfast, I had 4 slices of bacon and 4 scrambled eggs. Now the bacon I just cooked in the air fryer for about 7 or 8 minutes at 400 degrees. And for the eggs, I like the whites to be fully cooked, but the yolks to still be a little bit runny. So I separated them and I cooked the whites completely and then added the yolks at the very last minute. As you can guess, it was really, really delicious. Later in the morning, I went for a nice walk for some fresh air and some vitamin D. For lunch, I had some venison that I wanted to use, so I started browning it in a skillet. And meanwhile, I put some beef fat in the air fryer at 400 degrees. It takes about 7 or 8 minutes to finish that, just like the bacon. And most of the fat that I used was fat that I got for free from a local grocery store. I just call ahead and the meat cutters save it for me, and I go a few times a month and just get some free fat. But some of this fat was actually left over from a date that I had. He came over and I served him steak and he cut off all of his fat. So I saved it, and I also questioned whether or not he could possibly really be the one. I crisped up the fat, and then when the meat was fully brown, I added 1 slice of pre-cooked bacon and then the fat trimmings that I made, which really helped with the flavor and helped increase the fat content. Now this was a really good meal, but very filling, so I saved about half of it for the next day. For dinner, I reverse seared a steak. This is something that I just recently started doing and I'm obsessed. I cannot get enough. So I took a frozen ribeye and put it directly onto the oven rack. Now the oven was preheated to 450 degrees, and on the rack below it, I put a cookie sheet to catch any drippings. My steaks are pretty thick, and like I said, this one was frozen. So it needed to be in there at 450 degrees for 25 minutes, and I flipped it halfway. Then when I took it out, I salted both sides quite a bit because I wanted that salt to create a nice crust, where I then seared it in a cast iron skillet with some hot bacon fat for 2 minutes each side. It comes out rare to medium rare with a beautiful, tasty, crispy crust. Now I know that ribeye is typically not finger food, but I was headed to Kansas City to hang out with some friends, so I had to eat it in the car. So I ate it with my fingers like a savage in a dress. And my friend Darren drove, so I fed him too. I had a great evening with my friends, and it was a situation that frequently would involve alcohol in the past, but I don't drink alcohol anymore on a carnivore diet. So I brought along my own electrolytes, and I just drank them from a wine glass so I could feel a little bougie. So that's a pretty good idea of what a day looks like for me, especially when it comes to my food. You can see what I make is very simple and easy, and it doesn't always involve utensils when I'm eating, but I'm fine with that. It fits my lifestyle perfectly. So I understand this may not be for everyone, but it is for me. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any topics that you'd like me to discuss in the future. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'd love for you to find me on Instagram. Delighted to meet you, and we can interact there every single day.